Hey Waffle Gang, I do hope you are well. My name is Mark and today we're checking out some more relationship stories, and if you do love a Reddit story, why not consider hitting that like, subscribe, maybe that notification bell too. Well, let's crack on with today's first story. Much love guys. Now today's first story comes from a throwaway account and says, I'm at a loss as to what to do with my 54 male wife, 51 females request. My wife and I have been married since 2001 and together since 1999. She's the most intelligent, thoughtful, caring, loyal person I know. I have always thought of myself as fortunate to have met and married her. She is, even today, aesthetically beautiful, and men have told her this throughout our marriage. She has always shot them down. Earlier this year, she was diagnosed with uterine cancer, stage 1, and had a full hysterectomy. I was never concerned about the cancer. It was diagnosed early, dealt with quickly, and she made a full recovery. I took time off work to look after her after the surgery, and all seemed well. There were some to be expected emotional instances on her part, and although I am not an emotional person, we dealt with them together. After her recovery, she was insistent that we start living our lives to the fullest, and took a 10-day trip to Europe, followed by a trip to Belize. We also have a trip to the UK and Spain and Portugal later this year. I'm fine with these things, building memories and crossing bucket list adventures off her/our list. I also understand that these are a result of feeling fragile on her part. She also took up yoga, swimming and healthy cooking classes. I was fully on board until last week. Last week she came home from work and told me she wanted a hall pass, a one-time opportunity for her to have sex with someone else besides me. She said that since her cancer diagnosis, her outlook on life has changed and she doesn't want to be handcuffed from doing things she wants to do. She explained that there is a guy at her work that she has always had some attraction to. He is leaving the company and she will never see him again. So this is the perfect opportunity to sleep with someone else. She said that I could say no of course, but that she would be mad and disappointed at me for an indeterminate amount of time, and that it would be confirmation of my male toxicity and insecurity. I don't consider myself to be toxic, and if not wanting your wife of 20 plus years to have sex with someone else is insecure, then I guess I am insecure. I told her that I appreciated her talking to me about this, but approval via coercion is not approval. I also said that I do not appreciate her language in describing my, as of yet, unknown reaction to this very large issue that could affect the rest of our marriage and life. I got up in the morning and she basically said that she was sorry for putting such a large decision solely on my shoulders, and that to help, she was taking the decision away from me. She booked a hotel near where her co-workers are having a party/send-off for this guy, and she would spend the night there with him and hoped that I would be here when she got back, that she would answer any questions I have about the night after it happened but not before. She would not tell me who he is or anything about him because she knows me too well and that I will dwell and obsess over him, and that would make it too real for me, which is pretty accurate. Her point of view is that the less I know, the better, which contradicts the offer to tell me anything I want to know after it happened. I think she knows I won't want to know/ask anything or simply will not tell me. Part of me thinks that at least she is honest with me and she has been through a lot since finding out she had cancer, so maybe I should just let it happen. I certainly have no concept of what she went through, so I cannot dismiss how this affected her mental state/outlook on life. Part of me wants to put my foot down and say this is not going to happen and deal with those consequences when they happen. A BFF called me callous for even suggesting I wouldn't let it happen because I have no idea what she went through. I find it hard to believe that she is okay with the possibility of throwing away 20 plus years of marriage over some guy that she has no relationship with outside of work, and that I should just call her bluff. Maybe she thinks similarly that I won't throw away the marriage because of one encounter. I just don't know what to do. I empathize with her, and then an instant later I am angry with her. Part of me wants to know who this guy is. What does he look like? What has he got that is so enthralling for her? Is he just a safe option? Is he married? Does his wife know? Would I be a callous arsehole for saying no? What can I do besides walking away? Now for me, I just think that's an incredibly selfish attitude. And don't get me wrong, I can understand you wanting to live your life after you've been through something that's, really eye-opening, life-changing, etc. Obviously, I didn't have a full understanding over it, but I can only compare it to like the last few years that I went through and losing various family members to cancer. And let me just say, I'm not trying to take away from the story. I'm just trying to relate to it. I always get some comments that say, you know, stop trying to overshadow the story, etc. I'm really not trying to. I'm just trying to relate to it in a way and like come from their point of view. But the last few years for myself have been really eye-opening to how fragile life can be. The amount of members in such a short amount of time due to cancer, how quickly it was for some, it was eye-opening for me as well. It makes me want to sort of live my life in a way. But a part of me also thinks, where does that end? You know, she wants to sleep with one guy now, so but what, won't she want to experience a different guy? Every guy's going to be different, right? It's incredibly sad, but I think if I was told that, I don't think I'd be able to move past it. You know, she's telling you that she's going to go and sleep with a guy, whether you like it or not, basically. She's overruling any of your thoughts or feelings. They don't really matter because this is what she wants. Regardless of what effect it has on your marriage, she doesn't have any respect for it, in my opinion. And don't get me wrong, I know she's gone through a traumatic time, but it doesn't excuse it for me. But Chuck says, this is sad. I'll tell her this. Let me be clear. You've taken away no decision from me that is mine to make. You are free to decide to abandon your vows on your own. Your willingness to preemptively insult any negative feelings I might have about this is a clear indication that you are all out of fucks to give where I'm concerned. Let me just say that I hear you. My announcements of my own decisions will be forthcoming on my own timetable. Oh, and just so you cannot ever argue to the contrary, you most certainly do not have a hall pass from me. I will consider cheating to be cheating, and more so because this is willful and pre-planned. It's cheating in the first degree. While you may think you get moral credibility for honesty, that's not how that works. You don't credit for being honest, you just get dinged for being dishonest. Another user says you are not callous or insecure. Changes to the marriage require 2 yeses, and if there's one no, either that item doesn't happen or you get divorced. Unfortunately, your wife has decided that she wants to be single and is doing this so you will leave. But she won't take the blame of being the one choosing to end the marriage because she gave you a heads up first. That's why her friends are on her side about it. Quarterlife says my dad was diagnosed with cancer last year. Instead of wanting a hall pass from my mum, his wife of 30 years, he wanted to spend time with family more. Just because she got a diagnosis doesn't excuse this. If she is asking for a hall pass, I would have expelled her and moved on from my life. She is gaslighting you by saying she is disappointed. If she is speaking this into fruition, she will do it. She gave you a heads up. I'm sorry. And one more comment from Dracois, who says, I know that she went through something extremely difficult and traumatic, but if after going through something like that, everything that matters to her is only her belief, you should take the same position that everything that matters to you should be you. I believe having cancer is not an excuse to do something like that, especially when you've been so supportive of her. Now, you have to think about this. Today is that she wants to have sex with someone else, and what is going to be tomorrow? It looks like now she only cares about her and what she wants, and you don't matter at all. I can't even believe she's trying to gaslight you and making you think that you're a bad husband for not allowing her to do whatever she wants. If I were in your position, I'd warn her like she did to you. Hey, love, you are right. Thank you for taking away that decision from me. This decision is now yours. If you sleep with someone else, forget about me and you're on your own. Goodbye. I find it really bizarre in this situation. A friend of hers is like, yeah, you know, you're an arsehole for not letting her do this. That's bizarre to me, but Opie did update the post, so let's move on over to that. I received a ton of advice that I couldn't possibly respond to. I do appreciate the people who took time to offer advice in the comments or via PM. It's been an exhausting couple of days. I was hoping that my opposition to her plans would give her pause, but unfortunately that did not happen. I said I am a hard no, and I'm not sure how I feel about you if you go ahead with it. I was met once again. This is for me. It will be one time. What can I say to help you deal with it? You'll get over it. We were meant to be regardless of the situation. Remarks leading up to Saturday. She left Saturday, ostensibly to meet her co-workers, but in reality, fuck the guy. I asked her to text me when she was leaving for the bar, and when she did, I asked her if she is really going through with this. And her response, I'm not answering any more questions tonight. I will see you tomorrow. I blocked my wife, then I did something either stupid or brilliant. I went to the bar where the get-together was happening. Well, not the bar, but a transit bench across the street. I waited for a long time. It was running through my mind, leading up to this event, that I need to know who this guy was. Maybe to compare myself against him, to see what he had that I do not. It was driving me crazy. not knowing who he was and what was so special about it that she would ruin a marriage for. After what seemed like an eternity, a woman that I recognized from my wife's office left the bar and got in a cab. Soon other people started filing out and a whole group of people came out and people were hugging a man and shaking his hand. I assumed that I had my guy. I didn't see my wife and had a brief thought that maybe she called it off. I unblocked her and there were no messages. Everyone said their goodbyes and left. Dude was standing outside for a few minutes and then my wife came out. She looked around, took his hand and started walking away together. Of all the emotions I went through, trepidation, sadness, anger, it was disgust that really encapsulated the event for me. This guy was short, fat and bald. All the things I cannot compete with. Ultimately, I felt like a pervert for watching from a distance. I followed until they got to the hotel and then turned around and went home. I woke up Sunday morning and put a lock on the master bedroom door. I moved her things to the spare room and left a note asking her to find other accommodations as quickly as possible. I visited another friend who was a lawyer and he gave me some sage advice and a couple of recommendations for divorce attorneys and made the introductions. My wife had been calling me numerous times since around 11 or so. Once blocked, the calls go to voicemail. I listened to the first couple but felt nothing but some satisfaction when she couldn't get through to me and she was obviously becoming concerned. I didn't want to go home but I left in such a hurry that I didn't plan an overnight properly. I got home around 9 and as per my buddy's advice, I recorded the interaction. I was halfway up the stairs when she came from the family room asking what was going on. Could we talk? I thought we talked about this. I just answered with, I'm not interested in discussing this tonight and went to bed. After not getting a response from me through the door, she left me alone. I feel kind of like a child for not talking with her and shutting the door on her, but I just couldn't look at her. Monday I got up, ready for work. She was waiting for me and asked me if we could discuss getting back to normal. I said, you've been doing all the talking for both of us for the last week. Why don't you continue? And left for work. I have an appointment with the attorneys my friend recommended for this week. And the top comment on that update was, I can only hope that you've decided to do what's best for you. At the end of the day, you're the one that has to live with your decisions. From your previous post, it's obvious that your wife, and I use that term merely as a placeholder, has made a decision. I know that having something that has been such a huge part of your life end can be daunting, but sometimes it's for the best. And although that's not a fully conclusive update, I certainly see where this is going, so I'm going to keep an eye out for more updates on that one. It's just the attitude from the wife in this one, like, you know, you're going to get over it kind of thing. This is my decision, and if you don't like it, well, that's sort of like on you. We've been together for 20 years. And the comment from her saying, I thought we talked about this. You never gave him a choice. You never gave him a voice in this conversation. If he talked, he was the toxic one. That is just incredibly sad, and my heart absolutely sank when he explained the situation of being outside the bar across the street and seeing his wife coming out, holding this guy's hand and then going into this hotel. That is heartbreaking, man. I am incredibly sorry you're going through this, and I really do wish you best in the future. And in the nicest possible way, I hope you do separate from that person because you deserve so much better than that. I know cancer is a fucking horrible thing, just absolutely awful, devastating for the person and their families. There's no excuse to be an arsehole to them either. But now I'm going to turn this one to you guys. What do you guys make of this situation? Let me know your thoughts down in the comments below. Let's move on to another story. And our next story comes from Recent Exit 1536 and says, am I the arsehole for not giving my sister the wedding gift she wanted because of how she treated my girlfriend? My girlfriend Naomi and I have been together for over a decade. My younger sister Sarah and my girlfriend have never been super close, but are friendly when we get together. Or I guess they were. When Sarah was in high school, Naomi helped her out with some personal things. Sarah got married a few days ago. When Sarah announced her engagement to the family, she asked Naomi to be a bridesmaid, which surprised us a little, but Naomi was very excited because she's never gotten to do it before and probably won't have the chance. I want to be clear, there was no suggestion from either of us Sarah should ask her. It was about 2 seconds after she told us she was engaged. She said that she was so grateful to Naomi for the help when she was younger, and Naomi was very touched. A few weeks later, Sarah posted her bridesmaid proposals brunch. Naomi wasn't there. Sarah never said it to either of our faces directly, but clearly she changed her mind. Naomi was her, but she said she understood because she hadn't expected the ask anyway. That would have been fine, but then a few months later, Sarah asked Naomi to go to the bachelorette party and also come get ready the day of with her friends and bridesmaids. Same thing. Naomi says yes and even helped her find a good place to go and a rental. A month and a half before the wedding, I'm talking to my mum on the phone and she mentions that Sarah's at her bachelorette. No mention of it to Naomi. I'm kind of pissed because Naomi was clearly very hurt at 2 invites and then being sort of ghosted. A week before the wedding, Naomi texts Sarah and asks about getting ready in her hair and makeup, and Sarah responds acting confused and basically tells her nicely to just come with me. Then I was really pissed. Sarah wanted this really expensive baking mixer thing for a long time, and I got it for her for a wedding gift. My mum had ruined the surprise, so she expected it, but after everything with Naomi, I felt like being petty, and I cut her a check instead and returned the mixer. A few days after the wedding, Sarah texts me saying, "I don't know how to ask this, but what happened to the mixer?" And I responded, I didn't know how to ask, but what happened to treating my girlfriend like a freaking human being? Now my brother and my new brother-in-law and my mum are all texting me saying what the fuck, and that I'm ruining her happy time. Naomi for her part says I probably shouldn't have done that, but she feels a little vindicated. Am I the arsehole? And we do have a brief update in a moment. Now, my first thoughts after that is, why is sister doing this? Is she doing this to really just be an arsehole? Is she doing it maliciously, or is she really that forgetful? Is she just like invite her sort of like as a gesture kind of thing and then is forgetting? I mean, that sounds wild in itself just to say that to me, but ML says the same thing. It says, not the arsehole, wow. Your sister is spacey or just an arse? I'm glad you said what you did. Which Opie replies saying, I seriously don't know. I've never known her to be mean before. My mum just keeps saying she doesn't want to bother her about it now, and I ruined her honeymoon phase already. Fucking ridiculous, says not the arsehole. I wouldn't have even given her a check. I would have bought her a whisk or a spatula and told her, oh, mum must have been confused. Just like you were when Naomi asked you about getting ready. But I am petty like that. Initial confusion, says not the arsehole. I think it's brilliant how you stood up for your girlfriend, and your sister is lucky you got her a gift at all. Just replies to that and says, agreed completely. I'm actually really confused as to what's going on with sister. We'll have to know why she was being such a weirdo about it. Was she just saying that to be mean? To save face with her brother? Or did she get pressured not to have OP's girlfriend in the wedding party because of bridesmaids drama? It's just such a weird situation. Like, who does that? I get her for getting the initial invite, but after that, it's like cartoon levels of mean girl behavior. And OP's mum is being weird as well. I guess that's expected, since shitty behavior is usually tracked back to parents that didn't want to rock the boat or address what was wrong to avoid the energy. OP was completely in the right and not the arsehole. One more comment from Kindly Egg, who says, not the arsehole. It is your gift and your choice. I'm very confused about your sister's motivation on all this though. Does she have a vendetta against your girlfriend and is using the occasion to try and hurt her? Is she very absent-minded and keeps forgetting who she's inviting? It's possible that your girlfriend offended your sister in some way after the invite. I think having an actual talk with her might be a better way to resolve the issue. Opie says, I genuinely don't know. We've never been super close, see each other 3 or 4 times a month at family get-togethers, but we've always gotten along fine. And I've never known my sister to be a mean person before. Naomi says benefit of the doubt. She overpromised the bridesmaid spot but then realized she didn't want a large number. Bachelorette party was a genuine mistake and makeup and hair was a miscommunication or misunderstanding on Naomi's part, but I don't know how. It's very odd and I'm asking my mum to explain it to me, and she just says she doesn't want to bother my sister about it now. We should all act like adults. Love that. Let's act like adults, but don't talk to your sister about why she's being horrible to your girlfriend. Mad one. But OP's update says, so I talked to Sasha and things just got more confusing. She says when she asked Naomi to be a bridesmaid, she meant an honorary bridesmaid. She then said for the bachelorette party, Naomi had told her she works most weekends, so she didn't think that Naomi was able to attend and was just helping her to plan. Naomi said that she told Sarah to give her a date so she could take off. Naomi is a very non-confrontational person and had asked me to not bring up the bridesmaid or bachelorette things because she didn't want to feel like she was pushing in at the time, which is why I didn't. The makeup thing, my sister said that Naomi had told her she would do her own hair, so she didn't see a reason for her to come and get ready with them. My sister is still pissed at me and says I ruined her honeymoon period. She's not on the trip and some other really crappy stuff, so I just hung up on her. She also said that not giving the mixer was rude to her and her husband, which is hilarious because my brother-in-law probably figure out how to turn on the oven without neon flashing lights. Thanks for all the comments. I've never seen so many on Reddit posts I've ever made in my life. What a bizarre situation. But now I'm going to turn this one to you guys. What do you guys make of this one? Let me know your thoughts down in the comments below. Now, just a huge thank you from the bottom of my heart for getting involved in today's stories. Your love, your support, your time always means the absolute world to me. So thank you so much for being involved. Truly, it's amazing. And hopefully I will see you in the next one. Take care and much love.